Good morning, guys. I hope you folks having a great morning. Welcome to my the next episode on my podcast here. Just want to jump into it, and basically, I'm going to talking about Earth changes, few things that are actually happening on our planet. Now, guys, first and foremost, a lot of this stuff that we're going through regarding the planet is actually something that actually happened before. When it comes to the changes of the planet, climate change, volcanic eruption, uh, continent splitting apart. For example, Africa is having a situation where the continent is actually splitting apart. I think it's all the way down to South Africa there. But anyway, every couple of thousand years, every 3,600 years, Earth go through cyclical pattern where certain events happen. Now, yeah, according to biblical prophecy, biblical scriptures, they normally class it as uh, what's the best word to use? They say end times, words like that. I don't really want to get too much into that part of it. But anyway, I'm just going to give you guys a brief rundown on what's happening with volcanic, not volcanic eruption, seismic eruption with earthquakes. All right, guys. Now, once again, we all remember what happened over there in Russia, on the Russian territory. They had that 8.8 magnitude. Now, guys, from the moment that 8.8 magnitude hit, first, once again, today is August 29th, 2025. Let me get that date out of the way. From the moment that volcanic not volcanic eruption, the earthquake happened over there on the Russian territory, things are no longer the same. I've noticed there was a shift along the Ring of Fire. Earthquake is still happening there. It's not stopping, and I don't think it's going to stop. Also, what I've also noticed is that with the changes of what's happening to Earth, people are actually starting to see things that you hear of in folklore, myth. I don't want to get too much into that either because I've been seeing videos, social media, YouTube of people catching this thing called mermaid. I'm not going to get too much into that because that's not the reason for the video. But the reason why I brought it up is because from the moment that happened in Russia, off that Russian territory, there has been some mysterious sightings of certain things. And it started right after that 8.8 magnitude. Now, that same location is having volcanic eruption. Actually, along that location, there is about 27 volcano um, that's about to erupt along that channel. So it's not going to be something that's going to be over anytime soon. Japan, I'm just giving you a quick rundown here. Japan is experiencing some seismic activity, some pretty decent ones. Philippines, Taiwan, Indonesia is getting it. It's affecting places like Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu Islands, Fiji, Tonga, and so forth. Alaska is also seeing some pretty decent seismic activity. These seismic activity, they trickle all the way over to Canada. So Canada is seeing it. Okay. Central America is also getting a bulk of it, and also the Caribbean. This go all the way down to South America, all the way down to the tip of South America, that continent. And over there in Europe, Istanbul is getting some quakes. Also, India is experiencing some big quakes. and off the shore of over there, not far from Dubai, is getting some big seismic activity. Okay, guys. Now, I spoke of at the beginning of the video cyclical cycle that comes with the changes of Earth every couple thousands of years. Now, how I've learned about this is basically, I got into Sumerian history. Uh, there's an author. He actually what he wrote books by decoding Sumerian tablets. One of the few out there that can actually do it. Zacharias Stitchin, 12 Planets. It's a great book. If you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it, read it. It's not a book you want to read once either. For you to actually fully digest the message of this book, you would probably have to read it anywhere between 2 to 3 times. Yeah, it's not because you can't read it. I'm not going to go there, but it's just the information that's in the book. For you to fully digest this information, you have to read it multiple times because it's not information that's in the mainstream. You can't really Google too much of this information. So that's why it's going to take a number of time reading it to understand what you're reading about and to fully grasp it. Another book, you have to treat it the same way. You got to read it multiple times. It's called Colburn Bible. Actually, the Colburn Bible was actually written by ancient Egyptians, and these Egyptians actually were uh, migrating Sumerians that migrate from Sumer because they went through basically the beginning of the 654 year cyclical cycle. They went through that. They even interact with celestial beings that actually comes from a planet um, er, um, on that cyclical cycle, and they do come to Earth. Well, according to the information I've gotten from the Sumerian history, they come to Earth for basically natural resources, stuff like gold, silver. They're the one who taught the Sumerians about how to make beer, um, how to get petroleum from the earth, how to make asphalt. Their entire system was basically given to the Sumerian. The way we learn in school, agriculture, um, all that stuff, math, days of the week, how many hours in a day, and so forth. It's information that we're actually given. It's not information we came up with. No, 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 no. It was a given to humans by this advanced civilization that comes to Earth every couple of thousand years, which is 3,654. And whenever there is basically, I'm trying to put it the right way so you guys can understand, whenever there is a new breed of humans to start the beginning of the cycle, they, I would say, assist them, guide them, so they can actually sustain themselves because they're not going to stay on Earth for too long. I've done a lot of, especially I got into the Atlanteans, and a lot of people might think this is myth, but it's not. The first civilization who actually came out of the Ice Age, they were the Atlanteans. They they were a very advanced race. Uh, they had control of the entire globe, the way we're using it right now with distribution, the way China distribute goods on ship all over the planet. They were doing it because there's evidence of them in the Caribbean. There's evidence of the Atlantean structure. Basically, these structures are underwater. They were on the coast in their time. These structures wasn't underwater, obviously. They were on, most of them were on the coastline. So because of the ice melting at the end of the ice age, these locations were covered. You could find evidence of the Atlanteans, I think, all the way down to the South America. Basically, it's all over the planet. And trust me, I've seen map. They have map of the North American continent. They have map of the entire globe. They even have description of the planet from outer space. So, for you to have description of our planet from outer space, that tells me at one point, someone or something, whatever you want to call it, went to outer space. How they get out of space, but or another way you could put it, the information was given to them by an entity that came from outer space. The description of what Earth looked like from outer space. So, anyway, the topic I'm talking about right now is the changes we're going through. And this is something that we are going to experience for quite a while. I foresee this happening for 200 years. We are at the end of our cycle, the 3,654-year cycle. So we're not completely at the end of it yet, but we have at the end of our cycle, going into the new cycle, that period I foresee is going to last for 200 years. The Mayans went through this. The Aztecs went through this. The Atlanteans went through this. Actually, the reason why the Atlanteans were actually, I would say, vanish off the face of the earth is because of the the the, the consequences that comes with these changes. Land masses were covered with water from the melting ice, uh, earthquakes, famine. Um, Obviously, when you're having chaos on the planet, you're going to have war. So all these factors come into play, and which lead to the demise of the Atlantean civilization. But what happened with these Atlanteans, folks? They scatter all over the world. They went all over the world when their civilization fall. They didn't just actually the location for the main city in that for the Atlanteans were north of Africa, going towards Spain. That section is covered with water. Now, under the water, you will find major Atlantic Atlantean city. You'll see hieroglyphic structure, huge infrastructure buildings is under the water north of Africa, off the coastline, as I said before, headed towards Spain. That was their major city. When that fall, they start scattering all over the place. Actually, till this day, people in Spain talk about it, talk about that civilization because they know that's their history. So the Atlantean civilization is still very strong in Spain because that part of their major city back then extended all the way over into Spain. So they never lose touch of that. And that's good. I'm happy they still keep that history going because it's been like 11,000 years since um, the city of Atlantis went underwater and when basically it got destroyed. And it got destroyed because of the changes Earth went through. And we are going through that right now. So I would say we are the new Atlanteans, basically. And this is, I'm going to jump into another topic here, get off the Atlanteans a little bit, and talk about something current that's happened, especially in Kansas. There's a flooding happening in Kansas today. Once again, actually, it was yesterday. Today is August 29th, 2025. So that happened on August 28th. Um, hmm, Kansas, three counties in Kansas was flooded. Jackson City, Kendall, and Moscow. They were getting basically an inch of water every hour. And they have flash flood warning right now happening in Kansas moving into the Labor Day weekend. This flash flood warning also extend into places like Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas. They are warning the residents of these locations moving into the weekend that there is a potential chances of these areas getting flooded, and the chances is very, very, very high. So letting people know, getting them on their P's and Q's to get themselves ready. Now, the reason why I mention this, guys, is because um, Texas, a couple months ago this summer in 2025, got flooded. Not just Texas got flooded, other locations all over the world. I think a part in India was also flooded. Um, Alberta, Canada, there's a city over there now, a section over there in Alberta, Canada got flooded this summer. And the reason why, guys, is because of the changes we're going through, because Earth is also tilted. I think the tilt of Earth is like 32.5 degrees right now, which is very unusual because of the pole shift. No, this is basically what comes with the pole shift. These form of weather patterns, these conditions, and these scenarios when it comes to seismic activity and volcano. The volcano right now in Hawaii, there's a volcano in Hawaii, a major volcano that is erupting like there's no one business right now, and it's not stopping. Guys, this is just the beginning of what's coming. It's not going to stop. It's going to happen for quite a while. As I said before, I see this happening for around 200 years. Okay? So we have to get used to these conditions as human beings. Um, Famine is something that we also have to get used to because um, there is a food crisis happening on the planet right now. Close to 300 million people is basically, and that's a lot of people. I know we have a little over 8 billion, but close to 300 million people now is actually going to bed hungry. And it actually increases, it's now increasing by, I say, 14 million every year. Now imagine that type of situation lasting for close to 200 years. Now you see where I'm coming from. It's not going to be pretty. I've always advised people learn to be self sufficient because when you're self sufficient, when you can provide your own food through gardening, provide your own water, clean water, through water filtration and water purification, you actually have a very high chance of withstanding what's coming or surviving what's coming because you are self sufficient. Being self sufficient is very, 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 very important, guys. Very important. And I cannot stress that enough. But we have lost that as civilization and as human beings. And I do think the reason why we have lost those type of capabilities is because of technology. It really didn't help us. It really didn't. As technology progress and get more advanced, what happened to humans, we regress. We didn't progress. We went backwards. Technology go forward. We as human beings go backwards. We regress. And that's not a good thing because if you're not self-sufficient to deal with this 200 years that you have ahead of us, if you and your future generation are not self-sufficient, you don't teach your future generation to be self-sufficient, I don't see much of them withstanding what's coming. I really don't. The situation over in Russia is going to get worse with this volcanic eruption. I see volcanic eruption happening in Alaska. I see volcanic eruption happening in North America on the west coast, mostly off the coast of Oregon and northern California. There is a huge volcano. Basically, it's along the Cascadia subduction zone. It's called Axel Simon. It's about to blow anytime now, and I see this erupting um, at the end of this year, 2025. Now, experts speculate that once this volcano erupts, it's something that is under the water, by the way. It's not on land. It's 300 miles out in the water. It's like, I don't know how deep it is, but it's like around 300 miles out in the water. Not miles, 300 meters, I think. No, sorry. I think I was right. Well, anyway, I'm not sure if it's miles or meter, but it's not that far off the coastline of Oregon. So I doubt if it's 300 miles. Anyway, once it erupts, once what they're speculating, if this thing goes off, they are expecting close to 10,000 earthquake a day along the Cascade subduction zone. And that is not a good thing because the Cascade subduction zone can actually create what is called a megathrust earthquake. And a megathrust earthquake is something that can actually create a 90 feet tsunami. A megathrust earthquake can go all the way up to 11.0 magnitude. It has happened before to the North American continent at the beginning of the 17th century. It literally wiped out the ghost forest that was in Oregon. So this is nothing new. It just happened a long time ago that we don't even remember about it. These are the changes happening to our planet, folks, and people need to get aware of this. Now, that volcano that's off the coast of Oregon, which is called Axel Simon, again, once it go off, it's going to trigger earthquake at Mount St. Helens, that's on the west coast. Three Sister volcano, that's also on the west coast. It's also going to trigger earthquake along San Andreas fault line, and that is not good. So California, once it go off, California is not sitting in a good position. Now, these scenarios, guys, as I said, it's something that's basically around the corner. They're not far away from happening, which basically is putting an expert on the edge right now, watching these things. And honestly, I don't blame him because I'll be doing the same thing too. I actually do the same thing. It's just that I don't go. This is not what I do these videos to educate people and inform people. But I didn't go to school for this. I don't have a degree in this. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a guy who studied volcanoes. I understand them. because I read about them all the time. So the West Coast is not looking good for the coming future. All right. Another location I want to talk about is Antarctica. Antarctica right now, guys, is sitting the region of Antarctica, which is northwest Antarctica. The ice is sitting on hundreds of volcanoes that is under the ice. Hundreds of volcanoes that's starting to get active. The reason why we don't hear much about it is because we really don't have humans living there. They just go there to do research. Well, whatever is living there, I put it like this, they ain't human. And I do believe there is something there. Someone is there living, but it's not someone will call the typical human being. And I'm leaving the topic and I'm gonna leave it there. But they do have researchers there that are doing these studies on the ice glacier, the volcanic eruption, and so forth. And now they're releasing these information that the ice is melting. It's melting fast because of the heat that's coming up through the ground from these volcanoes. And they have come to realize there is miles and miles and miles of volcano that's on the verge of erupting in Antarctica. If it does, it's going to melt the ice. It's going to melt the ice. It's going to cause um, sea level to rise. It's going to cause severe weather pattern because the temperature of the water is going to affect the temperature of the water. Now, and the reason why I say that is because, for example, I'm here in Florida. We experience hurricane mostly during the summertime. Uh, they've just came out and said we get most of our hurricane from the Antarctic Ocean, Antarctic um, Antarctic Ocean, not much so the Gulf. The Gulf is normally hotter than the Antarctic Ocean. Okay, but this year, what they're saying is that the temperature of the Gulf, not the Gulf, sorry, Antarctic Ocean, where the hurricane normally start, is way hotter than the Gulf, which is very weird because normally the Gulf is hotter. And they have noticed this year in 2025, all the tropical storms are starting off in that region of water that is extremely hot. They said something is happening in a big region of water off the coast of Africa where the temperature of water have exceeded in a way have gotten um, have gotten so high that it's putting experts on alert. They've never seen this before. I do believe what's happening there. It's basically, I would say a volcanic eruption is happening under the water. I'm not saying I have information on that. I'm just speculating there because it's just not normal. Something is making that section of the water so hot, and all of our tropical storms coming from there. So, what these experts are now saying is that they expect more storms, more hurricanes leading into the future, bigger storms, bigger hurricanes leading into the future. And these are the changes that are happening to Earth. It's not the typical norm. It's not. Things are changing at a rapid rate. And humans, for some reason, a lot of them are not paying attention. I would say they're distracted. So I just want to do this quick video here, put it out, give it to you guys um, to let you know that yes, Earth is changing. It's changing fast. We are going through also we're going through what is called an electromagnetic disturbance with our planet. And let me explain a little bit on that too. Because of our cyclical cycle, which I talk about at the beginning of the video, which is 3,654 years, what comes with it is a binary star with 7 planets, 4 moons. One of the planets from that solar system will enter our solar system. Okay, and it already has. That's why we're going through what we're going through on our planet. We're in the process of it. When that planet, which is 10 times bigger than Earth, enters our solar system, the gravitational pull from the planet and that binary sun of that solar system is going to have a second gravitational pull on Earth. It's going to tug on Earth. That's the reason why our planet is tilted. That's why. The reason why our planet is tilted is because we have a secondary gravitational pull. There's no other way to explain this. And the closer this planet gets to our planet, it's these situations that we're having on our planet. They're going to magnify in a way that modern humans have never seen it before. Experts already see it, that things are getting worse at a and it's happening at a rapid rate. And they're being very, very cordial and how they break this information to the public. And honestly, I don't blame them. You can't really go full blown with the information on people. It's going to be information overload. They're not gonna handle it properly. So you have to be very, very, very careful of how you distribute this type of information. I give it up to them. They're doing a good job. So the condition of the volcanic eruption on a global scale, you've noticed it's getting worse. A lot of people are now talking about Antarctica with the miles and miles and hundreds of volcanoes that's about to erupt under the ice, which will melt the ice, cause sea level to rise. And when this happens, it will also trigger earthquake in other locations around the world. For example, in South America, places like Peru, the coastline of Peru will experience huge seismic activity. This is what's coming. Famine will happen. You see what's happening in Spain with the fire. It's on record. This is the biggest fire they have ever experienced in Spain and Portugal. And there's no stopping this fire. It just keeps going. So we have to understand, think logically and critically, watching the patterns of these natural disasters and see the acceleration of it. The only logical thing we can do and think as human beings is to say to ourselves, is it getting better? No, it's not. It's getting worse. So we have to adjust the way we live. We have to adjust the way we think due to the fact that, yes, it's easy to get our hands on food because the grocery stores are there. Uber Eats is there. Food can be at your door in minutes. But have we been taught how to be self-sufficient and provide for ourselves? No, we haven't. We have to go back there. We literally have to. We have to get our mindset in that space to prepare ourselves to deal with these earth changes that's about to happen. And as I said before in this recording, we're going to have these changes for the next 200 years. Okay? Atlanteans went through it, Aztecs went through it, Mayans went through it, and obviously ancient Egyptians, they went through it. They experienced it. The Sumerians, they went through it. And again, guys, I'm just going to end the video telling you guys I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys for always listening to me. And I just want to thank you and wish you guys all the best. And I hope that you will keep listening to my episode and give me your support. So once again, stay blessed and have